Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Madeline Vaughn, and apparently a rite of passage is doing the AuthorTube Newbie Tag 2.0, created by Jenna Streety, and I'll leave her information in a link below. Everybody has been very welcoming. I've loved being a part of this community so far. I did take questions from the original Newbie Tag and the 2.0 tag and kind of combine them. So here we go. What is your book's pitch? If you have multiple, choose your favorite. So I'm gonna pick my third book. For those of you who don't know, I have 5 books out currently, a trilogy, a novella that goes with the trilogy, and a contemporary romance novella. So I'm gonna pick the third book in the trilogy, and the tagline for that is, her opposition's reach is unparalleled. Who will be left standing? When I wrote that particular line, I was like, yes, that is kind of sums up the whole trilogy. How did you find out about AuthorTube? Bookstagram. I've been on Bookstagram for 2 years, a little over, and have decent following over there. I've started noticing their hashtags for AuthorTube and Book Talk and different things, so I figured I'd check it out, and here we are. What genre do you write in? I primarily write crime fiction, thriller, suspense, but I did release a contemporary romance recently. What is something you'll never write? I won't say never, but I have 0 plans at this point in my life to write sci-fi or fantasy. I love reading romantasy books, so send them over. I'm happy to read them. My brain just cannot wrap itself around the world building that it takes for both of those genres. Congrats to the authors that do that. I don't know how you do it. Are you a plotter, pantser, or plantser? The short answer is yes. The long version is my first book in the trilogy. I was very much a pantser. I would just sit down and take pen to paper and not lift my pen for like 30 minutes, and ideas would just come out. For books 2 and 3 in the trilogy, I very much had to plan and created an Excel doc to keep track of timelines and Easter eggs that would be through books 1, 2, and 3. Make sure I wrapped everything up and closed the loops and all the things. So yes. Are you self-published, published, or yet to be published? I am self-published and published. So my trilogy is self-published as an indie author. I will probably add some additional scenes to republish them under my publisher, but as of right now, they're self-published. My 2 novellas, Xander and Second Chances, are under a publisher, Raw Riot Publishing. They are fantastic. They are a small indie publishing company created by writers. So highly recommend. They're a dream to work with, literally. What AuthorTube related videos can we expect to find on your channel? Videos that I have planned is to take you through my writing process. I'm writing a new 5-part thriller series, still in book 1, about 30,000 words, but figured now is a great time to start this particular channel. So you can follow along, watch me build up my characters, go through a little bit of the outlining process, my murder board. You will probably meet her at some point. And yes, she's a her. And see how my book goes from start to finish and everything in between. When did I start writing? That's a hard one. I started writing from a really young age. My parents had a really old computer that they put in my room for whatever reason, and I would open a Word doc and just start typing gibberish. I'm sure it literally would amount to nothing if I went back to look at it, if I could find it, but I would just kind of grow from there. And then I would have dreams where I kept a notebook by my bed and I'd write down my dream that I remembered and then make stories from it. I took a long time off in between those years and my college years, got reinterested in writing again through college and took another break and started again when I got married the second time. That's a story for another day though. What authors have inspired your writing the most? Well, she doesn't know it, but Karen Slaughter is my writing mentor. Karen, if you ever watch this, I absolutely adore you and would love to meet you in person. She's the only author that I have read that I can't figure out. She doesn't have a specific process in the books that I've read. I definitely have not read all of her books, so don't come at me, but I've read a lot of them. A lot of authors, I can figure out who the killer is in the first 4 or 5 chapters, or plot twists that they've planted, callbacks that they've planted before they happen. So for me, at times it's kind of annoying for me personally because my brain just moves that quickly when I'm reading and I have it figured out. Her, however, Karen, I have not been able to, so I love reading her stuff. Do you schedule your writing sessions or simply get to writing whenever you find the time? I try to schedule writing sessions. but I have a day job and I'm a mom and I have 4 boys. I say boys, but 3 of them are grown men who basically live on their own. So they still keep me busy, believe it or not. If I've been away from writing for a little bit and I put myself on a personal deadline, then I will schedule time on a weekend or after work and just make it happen. Sometimes I just don't feel like writing though. So I will take little breaks throughout the day during my day job, maybe my lunch break or what have you, and try to either edit a chapter or revisit a chapter or something when I have time. Do you type on a computer, typewriter, write everything down by hand, or use a blend of all of those? And where do you write in general? I use a computer. I write a lot by hand to start, but I also do voice memos. So I start to write out the outline on paper. I'm a very visual person and I remember things better if I write it down. Then I go to the computer, try to expand on what I've written down. And then my husband and I love to hike and go for walks. And while we're doing those things, I will ask him about a particular scene or maybe a plot twist I came up with and get his perspective on it. If it sounds realistic, if it could really actually ever happen, we'll talk through that. And then I'll pull out my phone and do a voice memo so I don't forget what we talked about. Where I generally write is either here in this office, which one day I'll do a tour so you can see what it really looks like other than just this empty wall and half a bookcase over here, or my couch. Being new to AuthorTube, what is your biggest AuthorTube question? How do you find your people? With Bookstagram, I would put my information out. I had the nicest people message me and ask me to be part of these groups, and they're still great. I still talk to a majority of them. I'd be involved in different chats and there's different author support groups. But how do you find your people? I'd love to find a writing community where we can do live, maybe not live, but sessions where we talk about our books, get feedback, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so let me know in the comments below. What are you most excited for during the new process on AuthorTube? Did I read that right? What are you most excited for during this new process on AuthorTube? I'm most excited to find new authors and new readers, along with getting to be able to engage with you. I see a lot of people do the hashtag AuthorTube on Instagram, and obviously it made me curious, wanted to come over here. I followed several people already. Super excited to dive into their works and read what they're writing, help promote them, but also hope to reach out to readers and have chats about the books I've written. Those are all the questions. I hope you enjoyed this, and don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell to get updates on new notifications when I upload a video. Thank you.